It's Saturday morning and I'm getting ready to go out and pick in the garden, but I did want to show you how overgrown the garden has become. Next year I'm going to place the plots a little bit farther apart, and in just moments you're going to see why. It is almost impossible to walk through, and as much as I like to get my yoga stretches in, I'm afraid I'm going to actually break something, and I don't mean the plants. So come take a look. As you can see, the bush beans are hidden now by the pole beans, which was my bad because I shouldn't have planted them in together. But you can see the string beans or the pole beans are taking over everything in this section, which is fine because they are just now setting bloom, and I will hopefully have some really awesome beans soon from this batch of plants. The tomatoes are, I don't even know how high. Thankfully Dave comes out and continues to string them up, which I really appreciate. The green beans are not done for by any means. I'm sure I'm going to have some to pick, although I'm not seeing them right away. Sorry for the shaky hand. The butternut squash, I don't know if you can see this, has made its way almost to the gate. And they are planted all the way over there on that structure. How crazy is that? I may have overdone it just a little bit with the butternut squash. I tend to overdo things. I don't know why, but I always think more is better, or bigger is better. I guess that's my nature, and then I kind of regret it later. But you can see there's like no really good place to enter through here anymore. So I think there's a spot here where I've stomped on some marigolds just to get through quickly. So the only way really to enter into the garden now, it's like a maze, is through this. You can see where we had bales of straw that Dave had to move because we couldn't walk through. The children were putting the grass clippings from mowing and they couldn't get in. Just walked through a web. The squash looks amazing. I'm really excited about the butternut squash, especially since it was just an cast off in a compost pile to begin with last year. And it's huge. It's really a beautiful plant. I'm just praying that I don't miss anything. I mean, it's just going everywhere. It hasn't trailed into the neighbor's yard just yet, but I'm thinking in time this guy's wanting to go. And there's a little squash, and I don't know if you can see it, but back over there is a big beautiful squash. Let's see if I can zoom in without being too shaky handed. See that nice big one? It's huge. I can't wait. I did want to add that I don't think the plants are necessarily unhealthier for growing this way. In fact, I think this is probably how plants might grow if they were left untended in nature. So I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing to garden this way. It's just more of an inconvenience. So I'm kind of on the fence with this. I just know that I need to make this more appealing for the rest of the family to be able to come in and garden, because otherwise it ends up all falling on my shoulders. And if I didn't have a business that kept me out of the house at least 30 hours a week, if I didn't have other responsibilities, it might be fine. But you know, like most moms, I have to find a way to share the workload with the rest of the family, whether they like it or not. And that's easier to do if they're not grumbling the whole time. So, you know, next year I'll do better. Every year is a learning process, and at least with gardening, it's a fun one for me.